Welcome back. We are here in 1693, and our family tree is getting so wide that it is starting to get unruly. But in the last one, Penelope died. Phoebe has been accused of witchcraft. Our baby died. We are pregnant again. Gideon has been accused of so many people have been accused of witchcraft. We're going to go through all of them in just a second. Benjamin and Mary have started courting, and Abigail and Gideon have gotten married under duress. So let's do birthday rolls first. So Patience Hobart, no 13 or 19. Yoko Waldrick, no 7 or 14. Will she get married? No 1 through 6, so she won't get married. Amos Waldrick, becoming a young adult, no 3, 9, or 20. That was close. Abigail Hobart. Oh, that's our Abigail, isn't it? Must be. Where's the other Abigail? She's already a... Shoot, this is the problem with having two of them. Yeah, I think Abigail's only 1 year younger than us. Yeah, this Abigail just became a young adult, so she would be way down here. Okay, yes, this is our wife. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that this was happening this year. No 2, 6, 11, or 15. I can't look. Whew, that was close. That was close. Pullman Waldrick has to get at least a 9. And Nita Nicomas needs to roll for her end of life rolls. 4 more years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, we're going to flip a coin for all the people who have been accused of witchcraft, and if they get heads, they die. Here's our list over here. Oh gosh. Okay, let me put and 1693. Okay. Oh my gosh. My heart is racing. Is there a flip a coin here? Okay, well, let's open a new tab. Okay, this first one's not going to count. Or maybe it should have because it's tails and heads is death. Okay, Gideon and little Gideon are the first family. Oh my gosh, heads, they die. Gideon. Gideon. No, he was going to have 9 more babies. Okay, little Gideon. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a disaster, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. I think that Gideon just had too much drama in his life. Like, he has too much going on that, like, everybody is against him already, and so they weren't inclined to believe him, and unfortunately his son just got wrapped up in that. In our household right now, we have Redmila and Phoebe. So Redmila has been accused by Timothy because she got pregnant by him, and she dies. Oh my gosh. Oh no, this is going to be awful. Oh gosh. Phoebe, who was talking to cats. Oh no. I can't take it. Oh my gosh, I cannot take it. Elizabeth Anderson, have you survived this situation? Okay, well, Elizabeth survived for some reason, probably because she was the former captain's wife. Oh my gosh. Charity. Oh my gosh, she was the captain's daughter, but Thanks was bad, so she survives. Okay, Mary Dubois, who's been accused by Abigail for stealing her man, survives. Oh, good for her. She deserves to live a happy life. Obadiah Hobart and Timothy Smith. So Obadiah, who also has the drama with Gideon, he lives. And then Timothy, who has the drama, he lives. Oh my gosh, all of these bad people are living too. Although I guess my people are also bad people. Okay, who do I feel like didn't deserve to die? Little Gideon, obviously. Redmila, Phoebe. I think that's it. Oh gosh. Okay, well, there's that. Let's hop into the game. Okay, so we are actually going to start with the executions today. So we are going to call forth our 4 people who are going to be executed for witchcraft. And I think they were typically hung. I don't think anyone was actually burned for witchcraft, which is interesting that that is, what is the popular motif. But moving along, we have Carrie Lou giving a speech for each sim and why they are being executed, what the investigation uncovered. So I'll just go in order here. So for Gideon Hobard the first, he was accused by Obadiah because of his, hold that he had over his daughters. He went through each one of his daughters, and he, convinced them all to, either marry him or sleep with him or whatever. And he was, a bad person, basically. He was someone who was ensnaring women and causing them to go off of the path that they should have been on. And so he was convicted and executed for that. And it doesn't help that Deborah also passed away in their first year of marriage. And then Gideon the second, he actually I know it looks weird right now, but just ignore it. I didn't have any poses for children like that. So Gideon the second, he basically ended up getting brought in with his father. And the reason that he was then associated with that is because of his loner tendencies. He has that trait, and because of that, not a lot of people know him very well, and he is definitely someone who keeps to himself. Maybe they think that's suspicious. So the third sim is Radmila Borisov. She was accused by Timothy. She was accused of seducing him and using, spells or whatever to seduce him and get pregnant with his baby in order to entrap him. And he accused her of that. And even though she is Carrie Lou's sister, I think that actually made it worse for her because, all of this bad information coming out about her and everyone hearing about what they were trying to hide. They sent her away out of town center in order to kind of hide this stuff about her, and unfortunately it all came out because of Timothy's accusation. And so Carrie Lou is trying to show that he is tough on witchcraft. And then Phoebe Hobard, even though she's just a toddler, we talked about how she was, speaking to animals and the animals are acting strangely, and her sister ended up dying right next to her and stuff like that. So that's why she was convicted. And Carrie Lou is basically just telling everybody, look, like I am not going to allow for this kind of stuff to spread in our community. I'm not going to allow for people to, start to cause problems in our community. And I am going to be tough on everyone, no matter who they are. And they are going to, be punished for their actions and everything. So he is definitely trying to show that he is a tough guy. He is not going to let anyone get away with any bad behavior, and no tolerance. And so he basically says that to everyone. And for some reason, I had so much trouble killing Phoebe. I could not click on her for some reason, even though she was here. And then even though I couldn't click on her, I tried to add her to the family. I still couldn't click on her. It was very strange. So I'm trying to trying to do that. It's kind of hard, and it just honestly makes it a lot sadder to think that back then they did execute children for this kind of stuff. And that is just so awful to think about. Poor little children who didn't do anything wrong, and people were pointing the finger at them and getting them killed. Like, that is just awful, awful. I hate that, it just makes me sad to think about that that's the way that things happened back then. Anyway, we're going to head to our main household. And, obviously everyone in our main household is very sad because we've not only lost Penelope, but we've lost Was that her name, Penelope? All these P names are kind of confusing me actually. But we also lost Phoebe now. We lost Gideon and Gideon the second. Like we lost a lot of family members this year, and it's just very sad. Like three out of, and even Red Mila was living with us. So like all four of the people were connected to our family. And so we have Patience aging up into a child here, having Cake. And honestly, even though it's very sad that everything has happened this way. It definitely has given Abigail and Phineas's relationship a little bit of a boost. Obviously their problems are not solved. Like their problems are still very much there. But in these trying times, they have to really stick together and, be a united front, be a team. And so, you can see that they get their romance back up a bit. Well, not right there, but they do get their romance back up and, improve their relationship because they need to, have each other and have each other to rely on and to confide in and to help console. And so that is something that the two of them definitely get a little bit of a reprieve from their usual problems because everything else is so bad. It just makes those problems seem smaller, And that's not to say that that will always be the case. Obviously, as soon as things kind of start to calm down more, they'll remember why they had all these problems. But at the same time, it's like right now, there's kind of that break where they're in survival mode and they don't have time to worry about that kind of stuff. So that is something that they are gonna at least have for now. So here they are, very sweet, woohooing, having a good time. And we are going to have her have the babies now. And you can see even Phineas is starting to, or at least he's trying to play more with the kids, even though he does get a difficult relationship with one of them. But at the same time, like he's playing with the kids more. He's just trying. He's like, look, my problems are not that important. Like I can get over it for this. And I think someone was asking me like, who do I think the kids are looking more like? And honestly, like right now, I think it might be Abigail because a lot of them have her eyes, but not really sure. So, we are going to then just have her have these twins. We already know that they're twins. And we're going to update some looks here. Although at the end of this, we still only have 8 Sims in our household now, so I think that's fine. We're going to have the twins and also so Abigail is actually becoming a regular adult this year, and I think our household is full. We have 8 Sims in our household, and I think we can take a break from having babies right now. If we fall below that, if we keep losing kids and we're losing a lot of kids, then we will focus on having some late in life babies. But for right now, I think it's fine that we stop having one child or twins a year with them because they have done it. They have had 12 children at this point. It is crazy. So they can take a little break. So for the babies, the boy survives and we name him Peregrine, and unfortunately the girl does not survive. So that is one of our kids has been born. We have another boy, so that's 4 boys for us, which is pretty good. Actually, is Patience like, no, there must be one other girl, isn't there? I actually don't remember. Again, all these P names are so like disorienting for me. Let's see. Phineas Hobart. He has Patience. Oh my gosh, is that really the only girl that has survived? It is. Okay, 4 boys and 1 girl right now. That is wild. Okay, and then we have Phineas the second going to school, still doing his violin thing. He's really enjoying that. And we have the kids, and of course we know that little what's his name, Wilhelm, has been um, really difficult. He's been kind of a bully. He's been mean, and so unfortunately, um, it's been very difficult for them. Um, and he is deciding to go after um, Phineas for all of those things that he was, bothering him about last year, where he's like, "Oh, your family this, your family that," and especially now that so many of them have been um, executed, it's kind of like Phineas can't really say anything back, which is really sucky. And so Phineas is just going to kind of come over here, and um, he's actually going to play some chess with Ludwig, who's been very nice to him, and the two of them are just bonding, are getting close, and basically. Ludwig is very sweet. He likes to tell stories. He's very creative. He loves storybooks and reading and everything, and he is gonna just hang out with Phineas and be kind and say like, "Don't worry about my brother. He's just like that." Blah blah blah. And um, they are very close. And so they are going to become best friends, the two of them. So it's very nice. The two of them are going to become best friends. And then we also have Abigail having her baby. Unfortunately, does not survive. So it's another kid that did not survive. And so we are going to have these two just do their thing. And yeah, become best friends forever. So very sweet, very nice. The two of them. They're both creative types, and Ludwig has been very kind and good in helping Phineas with his grief. So that's very nice of them. Also, for some reason, while I was at the house, I couldn't find one of the babies. So I'm going to reload the household and try and find the baby, which we do find right there. We're going to get rid of her, and then we'll age up Peregrine. We can call him Perry, I guess, right? And so then we're going to head over to see Abigail, who has just lost her baby. So her husband has been executed. She's just lost her baby, and she's here with her stepdaughter. And so she goes over to Phineas and Abigail's house, and she comes to talk to them. And she basically says to them, "Look, I don't know why every time my front door gets reset, it's so annoying." Okay, but anyway, she's going to come to them, and she's going to pull Abigail aside, and Abigail is kind of surprised to see her, but she basically says to her, like, "Look, I, you know, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I didn't, I thought that this would be better. I thought I'd get a husband and a family, and now my husband's dead, my child's dead. I only have met Catherine like less than a year ago, and I'm not interested in raising her by myself. I'm going to try to go back to my father and beg for forgiveness and everything. So you can take Catherine, like she's your niece, and she's your problem." So even though we tried to have Gideon have so many kids, in the end, he just has one. It's Catherine. So poor Catherine has been dumped at her aunt and uncle's house by her stepmother now that her father and her brother have passed. That is really traumatizing. And so Abigail is going to come back and come to Obadiah and basically beg for forgiveness. She doesn't know what she was thinking, all this other stuff. And so it was just really difficult for her. And she just wants to. She just wants to come back home, be with her father, be with her sister, and all of that. And so it's just really something that she's trying to plead with him for. And even though he is furious that she did all this, at the same time, like, she is his daughter and he cares a lot about her. And he probably is thinking that Gideon really was into witchcraft because him and Gideon were enemies and Gideon was so awful to him, and he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong, even though we know that, it's not one-sided, but he really doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. So he feels like Gideon was just evil, and maybe Abigail got wrapped up in that. And so he's really, um, you know, kind of relieving her of responsibility, basically, and kind of saying that she, can come home and, they'll see what they can do. So we'll go from there. But that is the way that things are going in this household. And then we're going to head out. Let me just move her first. And then we're going to head out. And we are going to go see Canon Chet. So Canon Chet is, living his life, living his best life. And he is going to have his brother Pullman over. Pullman is going to be here to talk to him about his daughter. So Pullman's brother-in-law is currently widowed. He has, I believe, one child. He is currently widowed, and he is looking for a new wife. And so Pullman and Canon Chet are talking, and Pullman really thinks that it would help bring their families together more. He thinks that it would be a good thing if maybe they combine their families in that way. And so he is having this conversation, and Canon Chet's kind of like, well, we'll see what she thinks about it. What was her name anyway? Aylin. Aylin. And so he's just kind of like, well, we'll see what she thinks. Like, we'll see how it goes. Like, it could be good politically, but he cares more about his family than anything else. So he's not willing to make that decision without her input. So they are talking about that kind of thing. And then we're going to have them just doing their thing. And the second thing, while we're here, is that Thanks Hobard II is going to come over because he actually feels as though, he doesn't really have a chance with any of the ladies in their community because of his father's reputation, of his family's reputation. You can see why when all of them have been accused of witchcraft and everything. And so he actually is like, you know what? Like, we have family members that have, come from this community out here. And so maybe I can find a wife here, basically. So he wants to find a wife here. And so he has come to just kind of join one of their gatherings and see what they think. Do you like them? Do you not? We'll see where we go from there. So now we're going to do some birthday stuff. And for birthdays, we have Patience Hobart becoming a child, Ahioka Waldrick becoming a teenager, Amos Waldrick becoming a young adult, and Peregrine Hobart being born and becoming an infant. So that is the birthday situation. And then in the next year, what is going to happen next year? Peregrine, Mary Dubois, Annabelle, Sakima, Kirilu, Canon Chet, Charity. Okay, so just Peregrine from our household. And then in 2 more years after that, we'll have Peter and Philip hopefully become children. So we'll see where we go with that. And that'll be that. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.